Oh, happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. I swear I do not know the day, so that's not fake. Like, I really have to think about the days when I go live. I should probably like sit there and rehearse that before I actually go live. We're a little bit late. I just got back from Top Rep sales with Chuck Toki, and dude, it's fire. Like, absolutely
I
incredible.
haven't even gotten to hear about it.
Yeah, literally just got back. I just popped in to go see a couple of Trevor's down there, Ramon Crane's down there, Tommy Richardson, my videographer's down there.
Oh, yeah.
So that was absolutely incredible. Chuck, you are just brilliant, and had a great conversation with Chuck, and might be coaching with him soon. So excited to hear about that. More from Chuck. So that was pretty cool. But we're here to talk about Sales Boost 2024, which is what,
1 month away today.
30 days?
30 days.
So
well, I don't know about that because February is a short month, but it's 1 month from today.
So yeah, tomorrow would be 1 month exactly, because Wednesday, March 20th, is the welcome reception for Sales Boost in Wilmington, North Carolina. So excited for that as we start prepping for getting everything ready to have everybody come to Wilmington, which is really exciting because that's where we are. We live in Wilmington.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, sales, like, just leaving Chuck's event right now, I went there just to go see some people, and I was in there taking notes. I'm like, holy shit, this stuff is gold. Like, absolutely incredible. And that's the thing about sales. Like, we think, and I'm not saying I ever thought this, but like, we think we know most things. We think that we know how to get through situations, but sales is constantly evolving. And the nice thing about the event I was just at, it was like a broad audience, kind of like what Sales Boost is. It wasn't just for pressure washers or roofing contractors. It had a very broad audience. So it just goes to show that sales can be applied to all businesses, but just hearing a different perspective on what we could be doing better within my company right now was great. So I went back to the office and I was like, all right, Liz, I need these numbers right now. Like, numbers that I knew she was capturing, but I was like, are we actually capturing how many people call and schedule an estimate and how many people call and don't schedule an estimate, because those numbers matter? She's like, yeah, we have those numbers. I'm like, all right, cool. So that made me feel good that we're doing that.
Awesome. So many big tips in sales. And another thing about sales is just like listening to you on fire and coming off of it. Is sales is all about energy. And I say anyone in a sales position, but we've talked about that in the home service business, everyone in your organization is in sales. The owner, the person in sales, if there's a sales seat, the admin, everyone, the techs. It is one of the most important things is to get yourself in environments where you get that fire again. Like, I see your fire and energy from being in a space of putting yourself in that and reigniting the fire that you have. And that's there are so many valuable things we'll talk about coming to Sales Boost. You can get that education and tips and going things that you're looking at. But one of the things is just reigniting that fire for you as an owner. And then who are you bringing with you? That energy that you and your team get alone, go back and you put stuff into place just today. I mean, there's sales that'll happen instantly while you're at Sales Boost just from the energy you get.
Oh, absolutely. Again, I've talked about it so many different times, just watching people actually implement stuff that they're hearing from the speakers on stage, giving people the confidence that they can raise their price and still provide value to a customer at a higher level and be confident to go sell. You know, normally most pressure washing companies are like, well, I'm going to do 10 cents a square foot on a house, and I'm going to give them exactly what they want, just a house wash. That's all they want. But then you leave Sales Boost, you're like, well, I'm going to raise that to 14, 18, 20 cents a square foot, feel confident in giving that offer to a client. But not only am I going to give them the estimate for the house wash, I'm going to give them the gutters, I'm going to give them the roof, and I'm going to give them the driveway, show them why they need all that. And now my sales average ticket just increased to $1,200. Mm-hmm. And you already paid for half your ticket right there with just that one little piece of confidence and advice and all that thing. So yes, that's why I love going to these shows because again, we've probably been stagnant for the last 4 months for most of you home service pressure washing companies because you haven't been doing much because it's been cold. And by going to sales booths, you're going to be proactive because now you're like turn on the levers, like the marketing levers. Like don't wait until you think you get busy to start marketing. Like we need to be doing that now. If we're not Google Ads turned on, if we're not doing your yard signs, door hangers, like things you need to be doing. And I'll give this really cool piece of advice that I've just learned today. Door hangers. We all have door hangers. We give them to our technicians. We give them to the salespeople. We do the 5 rounds, the 10 rounds, whatever it is. This guy said, stop doing door hangers and do Post-it notes. Because Post-it notes seem important. They seem of value, like urgency, like your FedEx, UPS, or the tax man. They leave Post-it notes on there. You're like, oh, what is this? So think about how you can shift door hangers to do Post-it notes. And I like that idea too, because you can get ones that are like the size of your phone or longer, and they sticky in the back. So you just slap it, you slap it right on the window, the storm door, and then the homeowner sees it when they come in there. So now they're like, oh, what is this? Instead of like, oh, the Chinese guy left another door hanger, or the roofing guy left another door hanger. So if you have a Post-it or a sticky thing you put up there, they'll probably actually take time to read it. And my thought process is, instead of having one pre-filled out, having check boxes that, check their roof and check their gutters. So it says like, these are bad, need to get serviced, and put your actual name and handwrite your phone number on there. So they know it's not somebody just go and slap it on there. It might take you a couple extra seconds, but the customer feels that they might have value out of that. And they'll call you. They know you were there.
That's a good tip.
What do you think, John?
Man, I'm glad I logged on and heard that, because that's gold right there, buddy.
I actually was at the class and I'm like looking up how to go buy these right now and have them for sales booths to show them because it's pretty cool. And I do love the sticky factor. We've been talking about sticky factor a lot lately with some things we're working on, John, but that it just, you slap it on there and then you don't have to worry about it. If like you have that timid salesman that doesn't want to go open the door because they feel the dog's going to start barking and all that, they just slap it on the freaking door and they're on to the next one. Just put your name on there. John was here and I saw that your roof was dirty. Give us a call. Well, I would read that instead of a door hanger just tossed in the trash.
It seems much more important.
Toss it in the sack. He likes to say sack instead of grocery bag or
bag. Anytime bag, I use it. John, I am loving the glasses look. I was like, where are yours? Because you had them on this morning. So
they're in my pocket.
Now.
Mine are cosmetic though. There we go.
Mine are reading glasses.
These are blue lights because I got headaches if I stare at the screen.
Yeah, well, that's what these are.
His are blue light. Mine. This was kind of a joke. I am significantly older.
Yeah, she actually needs them.
So I was having trouble reading something, and he thought it was a nice gesture to bring me home reading glasses.
So what's going on, John? We got a month away. We'll see you tomorrow. What time are you flying down to PWMCA?
Yeah, I'm in the afternoon tomorrow.
Okay.
Later. No, I guess my flight leaves here at like 4, so I'll be down there like 6:30.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. So John will be speaking down at PWMCA. Angela and I will be speaking down there on Thursday, talking about communication at 3:15. So if you'll be down at Jamie Schmidt's, I always get this wrong, Service Pro Expo. We'll be excited to see you down there. So that's good news. But I was just at Top Rep. I was just telling Angela and all our viewers, I was at Top Rep to go check out. Ramon was down there and Trevor. And I wanted to meet Chuck finally. Which, like, good Lord, that dude has got some energy and some fire. Like, it was pretty cool to see him on stage. But it's just great to go to these events because I got fired up. I'm sitting there taking notes. I went to go like shake hands, and I'm like taking notes and starting to implement stuff. But just randomly, this guy started talking about the sales thing, and he's talking about having canvassers. Like I think he does a roofing company, and they hire just like a canvassing team to go out there, and they actually, get their regions and stuff like that. He was saying it's a hard hire because it's a high turnover, because people see like, hey, I'm going to give you all these things and we'll give you a percentage of what books. And then we get our sales team out there, and if it's scheduled, we'll give you a percentage of that. So that's hard if they're going out there and just, not doing what they're supposed to be doing. But he saw the value in that. And another good thing was that I really liked too, was this other guy does stucco renovations for houses. And what he does is when their team is on the job site, he'll have a team go out there with some literature and a $5 Starbucks gift card and knocks on the 3, the 7, and the 3. Says, hey, I just want to apologize for the noise and for the trucks being in the area. Here's a $5 gift card to Starbucks. Go ahead and get a coffee on us for the inconvenience. And he said that alone has the customer so bought into your company because they feel like they need to give you something back because you gave them something.
The law of
and he said,
reciprocity.
yes, exactly what it was. Yep. And so he said, like, just a $5 gift card, they have a very high ticket sale, so it's a little bit easier for them to do things like that. But, it's like their anchor. Like, they leave that and they have the piece of the literature, and then, like, the return rate on that alone is absolutely incredible.
I love that, man. This is so good. Like, I'm taking a ton of notes here. So real quick, you talked about something, and I apologize if I hijacked it, but it's too bad. That's what happens when you invite me in. So you talked about the canvassers, right? And like, it's a hard position to hire for. Like, let's talk about that for a second, because I think, sales boost, we're talking about growing a sales, improving your own sales, but then hopefully you want to expand and grow a sales team, right?
Right.
So one of the hardest things, you can teach somebody how to sell, but if they don't understand first the concept of activity, and they have to continually be out there and knocking on doors. And we're experiencing that in our own company right now with our commercial sales team. Like,
yeah,
we have one guy that came from the car auto sales industry, and he worked there for 18 years. He was so used to people coming in the door. All his leads would walk in the door, right? This is a completely different animal. You got to be out there. You've got to go out and find your leads. You've got to knock on doors. And what we found is there's a real disparity in being a good salesperson and understanding the activity it takes for cold lead prospecting. Two completely different animals. So in that regard, like, how do you take a good somebody who can sell when they're in front of somebody, but get them to understand, like, and track metrics that promotes the activity that they need to be doing?
So funny that you mentioned that. That was a slide that was up there. I'm so glad I stopped in there. Like, you know Chuck Toki?
So I've just started following him a couple of weeks ago, and it was funny because it turns out he was in my area. Like, I saw him post a picture on Facebook the one day, and I'm like, wait a second, that's Allentown. I know where that is.
Yes, absolutely incredible. And I'm so glad. Like, I took 5 or 6 pictures, but this was really important to me, was understanding that, because on the spreadsheet, not only they have conversion rate, so how many calls come in, how many calls get converted to estimates, and then how many estimates get converted to jobs closed. But then on the bottom section, it was, I think they required 30. I forget what the number was, but let me see the picture real quick. Let me pull it up so I don't get this information wrong, because it was incredible. Of course, that's the picture. Let me see. Here it is. So there you go. So then how many door knocks they did and how many % of their leads coming in are from door knocks. So they know that if I'm doing 30 door knocks every day or every estimate, when the call comes in that says, how'd you hear about us? Well, I got this flyer on my door. Okay, well, now we can actually track that conversion. And then they built out the even bigger picture was, how many leads got to come in to then convert to an estimate. So like, it came down to was they know that for the month, let's say January, 172 door knocks are needed in order to convert 57 leads, to schedule 46 appointments to close 7 sales or 11 sales. Like, they had it broken down so that, like you said, your team knows, like, all right, well, we need 500 phone calls coming in, but 200 of them or 100 need to be from door knocks. And if you're not doing 400 door knocks, whatever it is, we're not going to get that 100. So it's important to be able to track that metric. And I'm going to dial into this. Like, I'm going to have this spreadsheet built out and ready to go for my team. And like it or not, if they don't like the door knocks, like, I'm going to show them, like, the math is there, because you need to get out there and doing it. So we're going to get the sticky things and start sticking them some doors. But I think with the canvassing team, I get it. Like, the sales team, they're busy. Especially March coming around the corner, we're going to be really busy. So it's going to be harder to go do those things. So to have one person specific doing that and going out there can hit a larger audience in a shorter period of time than have them do it in between estimates and then going off to the next estimate. So I think that's important to have somebody specific and say, all right, here's your heat map, because we know these are our target markets based off of getting our metrics from our customers, put it onto, well, we got something we could put it in. I don't know if you've done that already. I did that. So that's kind of cool.
Awesome.
That's a cool feature. I love that.
Yeah.
But knowing exactly where we need to be, because that's where customers are buying from us. All right, now go canvas these neighborhoods because they're all right there. And I want you to hit these. I want you to put the sticky notes on the doors, and I want you to put the yard signs at the entrances and the exits and all that stuff so people start calling.
Yeah. Yeah. Identify your puddles and splash around in your puddles. So let's talk about the canvassing. I like the concept behind it, right? How do you execute? You said there's high turnover in there. How are those people compensated?
So he didn't get too far into it, but for him, it was, and I did like this. So they're goal based or they're bonus based. So they get the hourly. I think he said around $18 to $22 an hour for these guys. And then they got a bonus based off of demo or the actual, the demolition. This is roofing. So the demo of the roof. So they got a bonus if it did sell, but he said he didn't bonus them if they didn't hit their metrics. So he didn't want to reward them for not doing the things they need to do, because sometimes they'll just go, just put them up there and just pray they get one job sold, but they're not doing all the other things that need to be done, doing the door hangers or doing like the neighborhoods the way they're supposed to be done. So he was very clear that like you got to be very specific on the KPIs that they need to be hitting in order for them to get the percentage of the bonus, whatever it is.
Love that.
I would say, what type of person that would need to be would depend on how much interaction they needed to have. Like the Starbucks gift card was actually requiring a conversation with the homeowner. Which is a much higher level person, right? They're trying to build that relationship. If you literally are sticking sticky things on the door and there's no conversation with the homeowner, that can be a much like high school, college student being like, how many of these can I
absolutely
stick on that? And they're not even expected to be bonus. They're just like, how fast can I run through this neighborhood and, look professional in my outfit and stick those.
They have those little hover things, those little things that the kids ride on and just roll them down. But yeah, like you said, like I think that position, the one that he was requiring his sales guy to go to the jobs because it was like it was a 4 or 5 day job. So they had time to at least schedule in there and then because you're right, they got to be competent to be able to talk at a high level about the services. Not like call this number, like look
at me. You said a great like play in the puddle. What did you say? What was that phrase you said?
Yeah, jump in the puddles. Identify the puddles and splash in the puddles. Yep.
Splash in the puddles. And so this hanger one, post-it note one, is an example that I think you were also mentioning, like your sales guy was used to the car lot. That might be like more commercial end sales, which those are obviously different than just a sticker on the door. But how do you maybe layer up those? I'm not offering the solution. I'm just offering some conversation here. But how do you play in those puddles and layer those up that maybe it is a different person than your salesperson who's really good at closing the sales once he has them? How do you get maybe other positions or warm touches going to those commercial leads, generating up those commercial leads, warming them up, whether it be with, email touches, calls, whatever it is, so that there are ways to warm those up for that person to do what they do a good job at?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. And look, there's a million ways to peel an onion or skin a cat, whatever saying you want to go with, right? But it's hard because I'm answering the question as if you asked it directly to me and not just a broad question. So, in my mind, ideally, I want to be as efficient as possible with the employees that we have, right? We want to get the most output out of our employees and our team we can. And in my mind, whether it's right or wrong, I think if that person can develop the relationship from the onset, I think that's going to be the most effective. But to your point, if they're a solid closer in your service and the way you sell it, like maybe I just need to step back and look at my process. And maybe we just need to switch up our process a little bit, because maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is more efficient to have an appointment setter be making cold calls and just piquing interest with a really creative hook on the phone and getting to the right decision maker to schedule that appointment and have the person that's really good in person just go and do what they do best. And because
Yeah.
maybe they're not great at that initial, like, breaking the ice and getting through the gatekeeper, because honestly, that's what a lot of commercial stuff is getting through the gatekeeper. If that salesperson doesn't have that skill to get through the gatekeeper, but they're really, really good and can close, like when they're in front of the decision maker. That's a really good point, Angela. I appreciate you challenging on that, because I'm actually questioning our whole process now. If we need to just scrap it and start not necessarily the whole process, but if we need to maybe tweak it a little bit and have a VA maybe make some initial phone calls, and because we've got lists that they're working off of. So rather than having them drive all over town, I mean, talk about efficiency, right? How inefficient can that be?
Yeah, especially if you have a big market. We're small, so we cover 3 counties, which is a lot of driving. That's a lot of windshield time for us. So yeah, to at least pique the interest, and then you can read the notes too. Have them read, definitely weren't interested. Hell no, something like that, or maybe kind of, and then that's the one we'll go in and do a door knock and drop off some donuts or at least some literature, and get that relationship started.
Yeah. And if nothing else, I mean, what if they make that phone call and it's an initial conversation? They make you aware of your company. And then the salesperson follows up the next day and just says like, hey, I think our office just called yesterday and spoke with you. And it's like, oh, okay. And it starts connecting some dots. Maybe they're a little more open to having a conversation at that point.
And I really got that from you saying splashing in the puddle. Like, how many ways can you do that? Like you said, it's warming it up. That cold call first. Now they've heard of your company, sending them some things, maybe connecting with them on LinkedIn, all of that. But I said that as well, because this is like a sales experience I had. My first job out of college, right before I started my dance studio, was actually in car sales, and commercial car sales. So in commercial car sales, you're supposed to go out and find the customers and not wait for them to come to the lot. But they soon realized I was amazing if you put somebody in front of me, just like your person. Like, they were not leaving without a fleet of vehicles. They were not going somewhere else. They were our now fleet customer for life. But when they made me go hunt, I drove around for days.
Yeah.
And pretended to stop and never find a gatekeeper. I mean, I would maybe stop, but I had no ability to get my way through a gatekeeper and find a decision maker. But if somebody brought a decision maker to me, they were literally a fleet customer for life. And that wasn't my skill set. I'm an outgoing person, but I just drove around for days.
John, do you have your sales team commissioned differently for a hot lead versus cold lead? Or not, I guess one that's, coming in through Google versus them going door knocking?
Right now, yes, we do. It is a different percentage for both residential and commercial. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We started doing that
and
too.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe the discrepancy isn't enough to encourage the behavior. So that's something, man, you guys are making me question everything now.
Well, I don't know what that is either.
This is what this is for.
I didn't have any answers, just questions.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing, I think, 12 and 15. So again, is that enough to make them excited and motivated to want to go do it more? I don't know, maybe not. But just having that, because if not, they're just going to sit there all day and just wait for the phone to ring.
Right.
Unless you're giving the boot and say, get out there and go these door hangers up and the yard signs out. But yeah, I mean, maybe that's something I should probably think about too, because maybe it was exciting for them to go do it. Well, I'd rather them go out there and make a couple more percent than them sitting there and just like, well, I'll just wait. I'll just yeah. I'm moving that needle.
This is, I mean, because you guys are both questioning now, this is an example of why go to events like you did today, Sales Boost, with people outside of your industry. It's not just, a lot of times you're getting in a room with people that are just in your industry and you all kind of have the same things and same thoughts. I obviously do not, or I don't own a home service business or work in any way with these clients. And sometimes somebody just asking a question, maybe indirectly or directly, or somebody doing something different in a different industry makes you think, what could we tweak? That's a new pivot or a new thought.
Well, I'm excited, and that's Pat started that last year, and what we're doing this year is Friday is the lawn industry. So we have you ever followed Mike Andes?
Yes.
Mike Andes, Sam Gamble, and Marvin are speaking for Friday, and I've heard Marvin speak several times. Incredible, great with acquisitions, people trying to buy other companies with no money out of pocket. Love what he does. Sam, I've only seen him on social, and God,
And we've met with him. We've done live.
He's just I can't wait to give him a big old hug. And Mike Andes, I've just been following him lately. What he's been doing with his turnarounds and stuff like that. Like, that dude has got some energy. So just to see what they're doing from a different industry and their perspectives coming in. And it's just different speakers, because we know in the washing industry, let's face it, it's usually the same speakers out there. And there's nothing wrong with that, because every year we're it's a different mindset. So we're hearing different things. But I love, just like Angel was saying, hearing different aspects or points of view from different industries, because like an HVAC is completely different from watching, like the way they get after clients. And same thing with roofing, because they got some high tickets. Good Lord. Their average ticket there, I think they wanted $11,000 average ticket for the roofing industry for residential home. Like,
well, you got to think of it too. There's different structure on the whole cost of goods sold and everything there too.
Yeah,
so
I know that. Yeah.
But still, yes, you're right. I mean, look, as the tickets go up, so it's a percentage of those tickets. So yeah, it's enticing for sure. But no, to your point, I think it is very important, like getting outside of your bubble in your industry, because you sort of get locked into these kind of ways of doing things, right? And like I alluded to earlier, like our sales process, I kind of thought like that was the way to do it. But now it's like, well, is it though? Is that the best way? Is the most efficient way? Like, why can't look at a different industry, maybe even outside of the service industry, and use that as a model, and ask yourself, challenge yourself, like, can I make that work? Will that work in this industry? Don't just dismiss it because it's a different industry. And if you can't maybe incorporate the entire thing, take bits and pieces from it that you could see working, and you're going to differentiate yourself from all the competitors, because everybody's doing it the exact same way. Absolutely. So if you can find a way to differentiate yourself, you're going to come across as way more productive and different in your clients and prospects' eyes too.
All right, John, this was awesome. Like, I'm so glad I went there. I'm so glad you jumped on, because now you got my wheels turning. I'm probably going to change that percentage to make it more enticing for them to get out there, because let's face it, 3% is not really exciting. So I'm going to make it exciting.
Maybe it's not a percentage. Maybe there's a specific dollar amount and it's tiered or something. I don't know. Again, figure it out, right? It's part of the fun.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you tomorrow. Looking forward to hear you speak down in Florida at Jamie's event, and more excited to hear you speak Sales Boost Live, March 20th to 23rd. Be sure to get your tickets, salesboostlive.com. I'll be speaking, Andrew will be speaking, John will be speaking, and we have 19 other incredible speakers there ready to revolutionize your sales process and get you set up for success this spring. Appreciate it, John, and we'll talk soon, buddy.
Sounds good. All right. Thanks, guys.
Bye. Excuse me while I sign off on the other computer. Just say goodbye.
Bye.
This is what happens.